All right, just a second here. Okay. Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday and I want to know what you are reading. I have done the It's Monday, What Are You Reading meme before. I haven't done it in a while. Jen Vincent hosts it on her blog and also the Unleashing Readers blog. They both host the It's Monday, What Are You Reading meme. And I haven't done it in a while, so I want to get back into the habit of sharing what I have read over the last week. All right, so some of the books that I have read. Yesterday, I finished The War I Finally Won. It is by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. It is one of the greatest books I have ever read. It is the sequel to The War That Saved My Life. It is an amazing story of Ada, who is one of the most powerful, one of the most brilliant, one of the most fascinating characters I have ever read in my entire life. She is a hero. She is amazing. Every kid needs to experience this character. The story takes place during World War II in England. In the first book, Ada is she has this club foot and she can't walk and she's treated terribly by her mother. Things are not going well. It's absolutely awful. And then she teaches herself how to walk and she does all of these amazing things to be evacuated with her brother. And they go and they live with a woman named Susan. In book two, Ada just picks up right at the end of where book one left off, and Ada is trying to figure out where her place in the world. She is trying to figure out what it is like to have someone who loves her. She spent her whole life not knowing anything about love or why anyone would ever care for her or value her. It's an amazing book. I loved every single page. It's probably going to be honored by lots of award committees this coming winter. It's absolutely a marvelous read. Another book that I love, this book comes out, it comes out March 1st from Abrams. It's by Jillian Tamaki, and it is just a beautiful book that just shares the joy of color in a child's imagination. You get to really see colors that we take for granted. This book is just absolutely breathtaking. I mean, look at these pictures. It's a wonderful book to read aloud. I read it aloud to my kids on Friday. It was a huge hit. They Say Blue, Jillian Tamaki. Another book that I read last week that I loved is Sleep Train. Sleep Train is by Jonathan London. It is illustrated by Lauren Eldridge. And Lauren does these amazing illustrations where she creates things out of clay and out of other materials, and then she stages it and takes pictures. And her work in this book is absolutely, it will just take your breath away. I just envision this book being read aloud, cuddled up in bed with your little ones. I picture this being a gift that you give for years to come, an absolute marvelous read. It comes out April 3rd, and it's from Viking, a beautiful book. A nonfiction book that I really loved, it's called Girl Running, Bobby Gibb and the Boston Marathon. I did not know that girls used to not be able to run in the Boston Marathon. That is a travesty, and it's awful. And this woman decided that she loved running, and she ran like crazy, tons of miles, hundreds of miles, all over the place, all over the world, and she finally decided she was going to run the Boston Marathon, and they said no, and she said, you know what, I don't think your no is going to work. I'm going to run it anyway, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And she did, and now girls can run the marathon. So as a father of girls, and a father of girls who are very athletic, and a husband of a runner, thanks, Bobby Gibb, for being awesome. And thank you for publishing this book, Nancy Paulson Books. I love it. Great job, Annette Bay Pimentel, the author, and Micah Archer. I really, really love this book. I think it's fascinating. All right, a couple other books. The books that I'm reading to my kids in class, I am currently reading The City of Ember to my afternoon kids. They love it. It's so fun to read aloud. Never read this book aloud, loving it. And my morning class, we're reading Jason Reynolds' Ghost. It's super, they're super into it. They're loving it. Both of these books are going really well. Read alouds are going well. The book that I am going to be reading this week is Breakout. This is a book that I'm reading personally, currently, Breakout by Kate Messner. It's fascinating. It takes place in a small town in upstate New York where there's been a prison break and people have escaped from prison. It's told from a kid's point of view, multiple kids' points of view that live in that area. Really fascinating, deals with a lot of things, not just the prison break, but also race, also just what it would be like to have someone that you love incarcerated. A beautiful book. I'm absolutely loving it. I am 173 pages in. I'm absolutely loving it. Professionally, I'm reading professionally because, you know, we need to be reading professionally. I am reading From Striving to Thriving, How to Grow Confident, Capable Readers by Stephanie Harvey and Annie Ward. This book is really, really good. Not only is it good, but it's beautiful. I mean, look at this. For a professional book, it's just gorgeous. The part that I'm reading that I thought was really fascinating last week was all about weeding your classroom library and getting rid of the books that kids aren't reading. And I do that a lot, and a lot of times maybe like we'll send those books home with kids. And it got me really thinking, like, if these books aren't good enough for our classroom, why am I sending them home with the kids who already aren't reading them? So it's a great book. I loved it very much. I'm loving it, and I'm learning a lot. A great, great professional book. Everyone needs to read this book that teaches reading. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to know what books you're reading, what books you finished, and what books you're reading this week. So leave a comment and let me know. Thank you so much for spending 6 minutes with me on my first live stream. It was very odd and awkward, and hopefully I get better. It was really fun, though. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Happy, happy reading.